Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. On the show today, we'll be talking about wrestling. Of course, Nigeria's performance at the just concluded 2023 African Senior Championships right there in Tunisia. We'll also take a look at the leagues across Europe. You have so many leagues, they have champions now, but we are still waiting for the German Bundesliga. Usually, they're the first to have a champion, but this year, they're all waiting in the wings because Bayern dropped points again. So Bayern and PSG are the teams waiting to see if they can win their league. But then why PSG need just 1 point? But for Bayern, the whole long way to go for them. And of course, Man City crowned champions courtesy of Arsenal losing their game. So we'll also be looking at NPFL, the teams that will make the Super Six. 3 teams already making it, but then we're also looking for another 3 teams to join them. We have relegated teams 4 already, but 2 more to join the teams that will be relegated from both sides, because you have the Group A and also the Group B. We'll also touch down on the NBA. What is the problem with the Lakers going 3-0 down in the best-of-7 series in the Western Conference Finals? And finally, we'll take a look at tennis. Rafael Nadal, is this the end for him after pulling out of the French Open? All right, Ken Ochonogo is in London. He'll be joining me to present this program. Of course, we have so many guests in the studio. But Ken, good morning.
Good morning,
good afternoon. It's morning. Okay, well, same time belt now, right? So it's still morning for you. It's still afternoon.
Nigeria is not 1 hour ahead anymore. And what do we do? Celebrating Manchester City. What do you say about Pep? This is his 11th league title. I tell you this, unprecedented in the short time that that he has coached. The 3 years he was with Barcelona, he won 3 with Barcelona, won 3 with Bayern, and right now he has won 5 with Manchester City. And doing this, he joins only the great Sir Alex Ferguson as the only coach in the history of the EPL, in the history of the league itself, to win 3 at a trot. Of course, Alex Ferguson did it twice, 99, 2000, 2001, 2007, 2008, 2009. But this man, he might go 4.
Okay.
And if he goes 4, that becomes unprecedented. He's not the second most successful manager in the EPL within there, because Mourinho also won 3. What is his name? The former Wenger. Sorry, I'm trying to get his name now. Arsene Wenger, because his name rhymes with the club. Arsene of Arsenal. He also won 3. So there is no waiting about this. For Manchester, for Arsenal, it was a dream. The push, of course, they surpassed expectation. Let me just say that briefly before I come back to you guys. They surpassed expectations. Coming down here, we're saying, look, qualify for the Champions League is what's supposed to be the target for them. Based on the budget, the young team, the experience that was brought in with the players that couldn't make it at Manchester City, Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, and they may be bad in Trossard. But the Arteta project, probably if they support him, you remember that Liverpool did push City, before they won the league. The year before, they went there, scored almost 100 points, and they didn't win the league. And the following season, they won. Probably, if they don't lose their composure, if they psychologically work on them, if they give Arteta what he wants, the kind of players, because Arteta is learning from Pep. Pep buys the players that to play his style. That is why when Pep is playing, there is no first team. You remove the brand, you play the same thing. Every member of the Pep team is a first team. If you can have that same squad for Arsenal, Arteta haven't understudied Pep Guardiola, I think probably in the next few seasons we might see a better Arsenal. But then for now, it is Etihad. The city of Manchester is blue, England is blue, and then the treble is still on course.
All right, Ken, we just wanted to do a little introduction before we go into details of what we wanted to talk about. Oh, hey, you've already summarized the whole thing. All right, but we've got Three guys right here in the studio in Lagos. Yemi Bakari, he's back from London, so it's great to have you all. US, where did you go to? I mean, your orbiting.
London, US. I'm back in Nigeria,
okay,
and I've been back for a while.
Okay.
Yeah,
great to have you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
And of course,
good afternoon, my viewers.
Theophilus is here.
It's always a pleasure being here.
And of course, Kwemi Ajala, thank you for always being here.
It's nice being here, Sisi.
Yeah, thank you for coming. All right, let's start off with the African Championships. So talking about wrestling, where you have Team Nigeria once again dominating in Tunisia. I mean, in total, they have about 235 points, 51 more than the second place host nation, Tunisia, and of course, Egypt, a far third. Now, this is how they actually got this 6 gold medals. 10 wrestlers actually went for this championship. So out of the 10 wrestlers that went, they won 6 gold medals. And of course, in between, they also have silver medals. I mean, 4 silver medals and 6 gold medals. Blessing Oborodudu becoming the 12th-time African champion. So at the team in all, the female team also, for the 12th time in Africa, I mean, they were able to get that. So it's something remarkable. You could have had more players going, but as usual, lack of funds, you know, for them. But you just have 10 wrestlers going for this championship, and they coming out with this. So we'll say that, well, the Olympics, well, something is sure if they continue these preparations that they've already started.
So yeah, if there's one particular sport that has given us joy in the past couple of years, and one particular federation, I would say that sport is wrestling, and that federation is the Wrestling Federation. And a lot of kudos must go to those running that particular federation. I would give a lot of kudos to Daniel Igali for what he's been able to do. He's been selfless in service, and he's shown that, yes, he actually participated in this sport at that level and is bringing his experience to bear, not just to the wrestlers, but also to the administration of that particular sport. And now you can confidently say Nigeria is a powerhouse when it comes to wrestling in Africa, given the consistency and what we've been able to achieve. And that's why, for me, this is no news that we have gone, we have, we've been able to see, and we have conquered. The news there is that when will more funds be available so that a lot of those other upcoming wrestlers, because Oborodudu has been here for how long now? We should start planning for, we should have a good succession planning. The next generation of wrestlers, and I'm sure Daniel Igali and team, they have that in the works. When are we going to provide the required funds for them to be able to do what is needed? And then apart from that zone, which is the south-south zone, what are we doing in other zones to replicate how we nurture talent, how we get talent from those other regions? I saw pushing something in the last couple of weeks with respect to the funding for sport. Should we separate? Should we have a separate sport ministry from the NYSC, where 99% of the fund is going into the NYSC? That's a debate for another day. A new administration is coming on board. Those agenda that can be put forward by the sport fraternity to this upcoming administration. But I think wrestling has given us so much joy, and to whom that has delivered, I think more resources should be apportioned, like the way it's done in Britain.
I like the way you close that in. Do we streamline this success to the women's team? Because for the 12th time, you know, in Africa, you're having them dominate. They could have also dominated last year, but as usual, not much teams were presented, so they lost that to Tunisia. But this, again, 12th time African champion, the women just dominating.
You look at Blessing and what she has been able to achieve. You know, and this even, I think, is a bigger achievement because she just recently had the surgery not too long ago.
She hasn't competed in the World Championships.
Basically still healing from her scars and all of that. And throughout the entire duration of the tournament, she did not drop a single point. She did not drop a single point at all. You know, that's to show you how emphatic it was. And for the 12th time, going on out there and showing the rest of the world that, yes, she, an Olympic silver medalist, I think, you know, last time out at the last Olympics, and you know that she's literally dominating on the continent. And we only hope that this can actually transcend into the world the next time they go out for, you know, obviously world meets and all of that. But like Yemi rightly put it, they've been doing so much. They actually require more funds to take more athletes out for more competitions. And they will actually bring it because they've proven that, yes, they can actually win medals, both the men and the women. Women especially, but you have to really give it to them. What Danigali is doing with this federation, I think we really need to applaud them.
Okay, I'll wrap this for her because I said the sports lottery funds must be put to use. That was the quote I got from Daniel Gali when he posted on his Facebook page concerning how they can actually write, this lack of funds for sports.
Yeah, I think there's this saying adage in my place that if you deceive people that you have 20 tubers of yam, by the day or when you have to showcase what you have, the truth will actually come out. Recall that Gali was someone that was allocated medals during the sport festival and was playing that blew the whistle that no, I did not get so amount of medals, please strike them out.
Yeah.
So Gali has been someone that has been pragmatic, and I think when we talk about other countries snatching our athletes, I think these are the positive sides. It was in Canada, it was the Olympic champion, world champion, and we can see what is deploying, the issue of lottery and what have you. But Yemi said something about the South. You can't take that away because we recall that the former governor was a wrestler himself, and he actually committed so much. And with Igali being the sport commissioner, then this is what we have. Just when Ojizo Kalu was the governor of Abia State, and Enyimba gave us 2 back-to-back Champions League. So they will naturally do well from that zone because of that commitment. But what happens when a golf-loving governor takes the mantle of leadership and Igali ceases to be the commissioner or the wrestling federation? Because let's assume the wrestling federation person is from Oyo State and the governor is not a wrestling loving federation. So we need to actually put these things in certain perspective that should be more about institutions. Yes, Igali can lay the foundation, which is what takes us to that sport lottery fund, which is what we have in UK. If the target is 7 medals and you actually get 5 gold and 1 silver, that sport will be dropped because the target is actually 7 in any shape. So the sport lottery fund is what will replace the issue of having individuals rather than institutions.
Institutions, yeah. I love that. Building an institution is actually more important than individual trying to make the sport better. Over to you on this one concerning wrestling and, of course, Nigeria's performance in Tunisia.
Most probably, the Honorable Daniel Gali may join us on this show. We hope so. We hope he joins us. And because, like you said, we already what he wrote there, and it is quite embarrassing. I must say this: it's quite embarrassing that every time Daniel has to start thanking the Minister of Sports, start thanking the Governor of Bayelsa State for making it possible for them, to go for tournaments. I wouldn't say this because, of course, I discussed briefly with him, and then there are certain things that when you compare how much the Zimbabweans and the South Africans, if you know how much they give to them for wrestling. I'm not talking about Canada or US. I'm talking about people whose money Zimbabwe, you understand? And the other time they gave me the budget for the Minister of wrestling was just about 20 million. That cannot even buy a ticket for a team if you wanted to go and come back, and accommodate them and other things. The man is achieving so much, building up there. He's spreading actually. He is spreading wrestling around the country, in the southwest, in the north. I think in Jos or somewhere also they are putting the mats. That's what they need. They have to get the wrestling mats. I think the other time I spoke with him, I joined him on this show. We had Igali and then the wrestling board chairman of Kwara State and then we discussed on how they could assist them, give them. He said, look, I'm going to give you discount if it is about 3.5 million of this. I'm going to give you so and so amount of money so that you can get it done. So putting the facilities, we saw what he's doing in the standard world standard facility mat in Yenegua, becoming the wrestling capital of Nigeria. But come down to funding. We have said it, and unequivocally we have said this. It is criminal. Sport is not underfunded in Nigeria. Sport is criminally killed. 90-something% of the budget cannot go to youth sport and federation. You call it youth and sport federation. It is not. It is a youth federation. It is not. Sport is just an appendage. You see, for us to have a viable funded sport in Nigeria, then the sport ministry must be separated from the youth ministry. There is no doubt about that. Because as long as they remain there, we remain underfunded. Sport, not just, like I said, not but criminally underfunded. Sport is being killed without money. And that is the truth. if every federation are present, this amateur sport. You cannot go cap in hand, begging the minister, probably if he likes your face, he doesn't like to have that, then he now approves, before you can have money to travel. There should be a budget. Budget is prepared. It is not top. It is not top down. It is bottom up. You prepare your budget to what you need. The needs for for each particular year, short term, long term. You can do that. We're not even talking about capital projects here. We are talking about it's not to give them money to go and pay the staff, and that is what you do. No. Okay. So basically, you got to talk about the sport lottery. I wish Jimmy was here. Jimmy would have thrown more insight on the sport lottery. Money is lying somewhere. Money is being used. I'm not saying it's not judiciously used, but there is. I think Yemi can remember when Babangida talked about misapplication of fund, that it was not why it is. I think that is what is happening there. So the Cardiff Metropolitan, one of the biggest stadium in the world, was built with sport lottery money. Go and check all over the world, even in UK here, what they use with sport, the sport lottery money. What is happening to that fund in sport lottery? That is what we use to fund sports. The federal government can fund their youth, but please, sports need to be properly funded.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. And also some of these federations also need to source funds outside the ministry. Sponsorship is also important, and maybe private partnership or something. Definitely. That will also help them, so they don't go cap in hand begging all the time. They want to go for championships to represent Nigeria, not themselves. All right, let's leave this quickly, touch down on what's happening with the WAFU Women's Championship under-20 that is currently going on in Kumasi, Ghana. For the four continents, we have their schedule ready for you. They are starting today at about 3 p.m. where they will be playing their first game. On, of course, 3 p.m. today, they will be playing against Niger Republic. On Wednesday, they're up against Togo by 6 p.m. Nigerian time. And, of course, on the 20th, which is next Sunday, they will wrap up their group stage against Burkina Faso. Danjuma, at the time, called 40 players to come when they were preparing for this. And after that, it's pruned it down to about 23. And, of course, we have all the players there. He had to do a blend of the under-17 team and also some of the under-20 players that went to Costa Rica last year for these particular championships. Remember, most of the girls, they're out of the country joining professional clubs abroad, and so they cannot compete. So you just have to look for those that are still within their age for them to compete for this championship. But hopefully they can go there and win, because in Costa Rica it was the quarterfinals. That's where they exited that level, losing to Netherlands. A very painful loss for most of the players. All right, you want to chip in something on this one? I'll just roll over to...
You see, for me, as far as I'm concerned, football at whatever level is developmental. And yes, as much as we talk about winning, I think we should focus on the main goal, which is developmental. We have seen what the Super Falcon has become of late. And for me,
they bounce back.
No. They are bouncing back.
Future continuous.
You guys are mean.
Future continuous. They are bouncing back. So for me, this kind of tournament, if they go there, like you have rightly said, if they make probably the quarterfinals, get out of the group stage, if we get 5-6 new players who can actually now move into the Super Falcons, for me that would be a great achievement. Not all about winning, and at the end of the day, no member of the team is able to progress.
Yeah, I love that. To me, 5, because we had like 5 already with the Super Falcons from the teams that went to Costa Rica. Deborah, the captain Tosin Jimei, and it's so many. Rufiat, she's also part of those that went there, and of course they are with the Super Falcons now. All right, let's go to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Flying Eagles of Nigeria, of course, they were able to qualify. And you have them, they'll be in action today. And of course, Senegal, who won the African Championships, will also be in action. Remember, Senegal won the Under-20, Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, won the Under-20, won the beach soccer, in Africa. And also, of course, they are champions of Africa at senior level. So from all levels, Senegalese are actually ruling Africa. All right, this is the fixtures for today for the Under-20 FIFA World Cup taking place in Argentina. Israel and Colombia will be in action. That will be followed by the game between Nigeria and Dominican Republic. That's a Flying Eagles opening game at 7 p.m. today, Nigerian time. Italy and Brazil will also be in action. They are in Nigeria's group. Senegal and Japan, we conclude games for today. Now, for yesterday, the opening game between Argentina and Uzbekistan ended 2-1 in favor, of course, of Argentina winning that. USA and Ecuador, it was a win. USA winning by a lone goal. Guatemala and New Zealand, that ended 1-0 in favor of New Zealand. Of course, Slovakia and Fiji had the highest numbers of goals. Slovakia winning by 4-0. That's the result from Saturday. So Flying Eagles of Nigeria, they're here. And of course, Victor Eletu, that everyone has been talking about, has already joined the team some few days ago. So, I mean, he's a striker. So everyone is hoping that Coach Lanaboso will use the team he used against Colombia in that last friendly that ended in a draw. They will be able to do that. But you guys will answer the question, but that will be after this break. All right, welcome back. Let me start up with you. The Flying Eagles, what are we expecting from them? But Dominican Republic, when you look on paper, when it comes to football playing nation, I mean, they seems to be the weakest side for the group.
Yeah, of course, you saw how to play those weak teams. Fiji lost 4-0 there. And the eyes of the world will be on Israel because for their sake, this tournament was not held in Indonesia, that we had to come to Argentina. But for we Nigerians, we are more concerned about the Flying Eagles. However, I think the beauty of this Flying Eagles team is a team not under pressure. It's a team that was written up before the competition. So I think unlike the under-17 that we expected them to not only qualify but qualify in style, and it was an aborted tournament, But for this under-21, I think the strength for this team would be that they are not, because you know the pressure of 200 million compatriots, so they are not under pressure. Ladamboso knows his place in the annals of Nigerian football. So for him is to go and prove that person, and I think it's easier when you're back against the wall. Nobody expects anything from you. You talked about Eletu joining the team and then getting 3 goals against the Colombians. The Colombians, they're a strong side at that level because they have a couple of guys in their Premier Division league in the Colombia. So getting 3 goals against the very strong Colombia side means that team can actually breach any defense. So the test mark for them would not be this match against the Dominicans, but they need to win this match against Dominicans to also make a statement that, look, when we get to the next set of matches against the Argentine and the Italians, will do something. So they need to get this point, and the 3 point they must get.
Yeah, Theophilus, how important is it for the Flying Eagles to win this opening game?
Very, very important. When you win your first game, obviously, it kind of like sets the tone for what at least the rest of the group stage might look like. But we've played in the final twice, in 89 and in 2005. Now, I didn't watch the final in 89, but I remember that final in 2005.
Yeah.
Against Lionel Messi.
It's painful.
Very, very painful. We've never won this tournament before. Hopefully, we can go all the way and actually go out there and impress and probably just get it.
All the way.
Yeah.
Can the Flying Eagles do that? Lanaboso is the coach. Can he lead the team to achieve that? And of course, you have Argentina, perennial champions. 6 times they've won it. They didn't qualify at first, but because of Indonesia, they're hosting. And of course, you have Gemacho, right? Yeah. He's part of the team.
Just like Okwe said, they are placed in Group D with very, very formidable opponents. Italy, Brazil, yes, and the Dominican Republic. Ladamboso has been immersed in a lot of controversy. This presents a good opportunity for him to rewrite his own legacy, his own story. Yes, in the art of Nigeria, especially as it comes to football. And the good thing is, this team is not under any pressure because we're not expecting much from them. And I'm part of because I'm not expecting much. So it would do Ladamboso well if this team is able to progress from that group and make it to the latter stages of the competition. I'm not asking him to go win because I don't see that happening. Okay. We need to manage our expectations. But if the last time Nigeria made it to the quarterfinal of this competition, I think I can't even remember. I'm trying to play the
quarterfinal.
So
when you talked about season,
2000 and what? If you remember, maybe 2005 or thereabout. So what I'm saying in essence, they should just make it out of the group first. Let's take one step at a time. But I sincerely don't believe Ladan Boso has gotten together the best talent Nigeria can produce at this level. But let him prove us wrong.
Okay. Ladan Boso, it's time for you to prove yourself, starting with a win tonight against Dominican Republic. Yeah, we can do that, 5-0. Yeah, we can just, beat weaker teams. There are ways you can actually beat these teams, and they show you a little bit of respect. After all, we've been to the finals twice. So that's an advantage for the Flying Eagles of Nigeria. All right, we're going to go straight to the league now. So I'm going to go to London, starting up with Ken Ochonog, of course. We have the teams that are already, that Super 6, they've got it within their grasp. Benin Insurance, Rivers United, of course, you have Lobby Stars. These teams, they're sure, they guaranteed, they already have right there. Before Ken, you come in here, let's quickly run through the final games for the season. The finals will be played today. When I mean the finals, all the games, match day 8 concluded, will be concluded today, starting with the game between Shooting Stars and Enyimba. That's in Group A, talking about match day 18 fixtures of Nigeria Premier League. Remo Stars and Kwara United also in action. Gombe United and Aqua United, the reason for those that just saw. Nasarawa United and Benin Insurance will be in action. Benin, of course, already qualified. Nasarawa relegated. Economy Warriors and Plateau United will also be in action. Still talking about Group A games. Move over to Group B, where you have Rangers and Rivers United will be in action. Lobby Stars and Wiki Tourists also playing. Abia Warriors and Doma United. Doma Asterix, because the reason for that, relegated. Dakada are also relegated against Sunshine Stars today. Bayelsa United and of course Niger Tornadoes. These are the teams in action for today, talking about Nigeria Premier League. So Ken, I'll quickly come to you on this one. It is the final matches. We know some of the teams that have booked the tickets already, but these guys in the studio have to break their brain. I'll have to pick their brains, the teams that will be joining them. But I'll start off with you. Today league will be wrapping up. Has it been a successful one so far for all the teams taking part in the league?
Yeah, it's been a very successful league. Of course, there are certain areas that still needed improvement. Like we said, the IMC, the important is not the M and the C. The important thing is the I. It is interim. So whatever successes they have, achieved now have to be built on when a new board comes into place, and that is part of the terms of when they were formed that were given to them, to usher in a new board. We looked at first of all going around to say let's have this abridged league. This one will now align. The league ends. If the league ends today, we're now saying that look, we are ending the way Europe are ending, and then we can now go back. When they are resuming in September, then we all also starting our league in August, September. But this means we have June, July, August, for them to do their pre-season and everything. So we are saying, look, we just talked about funding. The leagues are being funded with taxpayers' money. So much money to go for education, to go for the health sector, to go for roads, light, and other things. Nigeria block challenges. So when governments now, out of that scarce resources, now to fund football, then it is a problem for us. So anything that can reduce it, playing there are 18 matches instead of 38, which means you have saved the team 20 games, on in and out. That tells you how much. Remember, when you travel, you know how much it costs on the road or hotel bills and overnight and coming back, what it takes. So I even still believe that even when the IMC goes, the Nigerian League should retain this format, and play the Super 6, which have become the being sponsored, the Carnival and get the champions. Because until the football clubs can fund themselves, because we don't have professional football clubs in Nigeria. The definition of a professional football club is a club that earns more than it spends. We earn 0 and spend 100%. So we see about 4 or 5 years for Nigerian football clubs to be professional, unless practical changes are made to get investors to come in. In England, there you see all sorts of investors from the United States, from Russia, from the Arab world, everybody coming, even Nigerians, the Dangotes of this world, himself, I said, look, I want to buy Arsenal. There is the Nigerian guy that wants to buy, say, look, I want to buy Sheffield United. So a lot of these things are coming. We need investors to come and buy up the clubs or give it out, get the Security and Exchange people come in there, get the can enlighten us on this. So there are basically ways where we can get this burden. So the league for now has been there, but there are a lot of controversies, especially the case of Remo Stars, Bayelsa United. If Bayelsa United are only teams that are subtracting points from this season, then that is injustice. Because in the case of Bayelsa United, we followed that particular story. The guy that was accused of going into the dressing room has been with the team, with the away team for the past 24 hours. The policeman allowed him to go into that dressing room because they feel it is part of them. So at the end of the day, you are punishing Bayelsa United. But when a Remo Stars, hit an official who refused to continue the match and complain, you say it was a tap. So these are the kind of things, but this thing has nothing to do with the IMC. It is the FA that took that part, the disciplinary committee. So we need to revisit these things and let justice reign. But today, we are all ending it. And like you said, Lobby Star, Rivers United, Bendel Insurance have all qualified, but then between Remo and quite another things, we'll see who is going to come in. It is, I love what we have done here. I think I will give this league about 75%. That is almost an A. Other things need to come in. For now, for running the IMC, but then the league, this is just the teething stage. We need to move on there from this and bring in presidents who can run the league, putting their personal money. When the league was the league in Nigeria, even for shooting star, Adebayo is a Nigerian, is a human, is one person who used his own stores, to get Lagosians to come in. They were paying 2 pence, pounds. They were contributing money to run stationary stores way back. So if the fans can run a club in 1969, 1970, 1997, or whatever, if the Nigerian fans can run a club, what are we doing? Want to go to watch a match free, whatever. But a lot of things to be put in place. Security, match day things that have to be, match day activity. If you look at Manchester United, if you look at what you go to on match day hospitalities to bring it to attract fans, it is not, you just can't give money. You don't know the effort, but you need to understudy them, see what they are doing, and replicate it right there in Nigeria. The league has done well, but there's a long way to go.
Ken says 75%. That means it's 100% for most people. If it's coming from you, 75%.
Just to support Kenya. I don't like thanking administrators in Nigeria for doing what they should do.
They're supposed to do, yeah.
What they were supposed to do. But in a situation where the standard has been so abysmally poor, you have to give a credit to the IMC for what they have done this season. And you see, this bid season has been an eye-opener with respect to a lot of things. Chief among those top story is the Bendel Insurance on winning streak of 17 games, unbeaten run. Whoever thought that would happen in Nigerian league? Because now referees indemnity are not paid by the home team. Now you are recording a lot of away victories. As at the last match day, I think we have over 358 goals with an average of 20 goals per match day. We've seen a particular day where we recorded 27 goals. Yeah. See, I never even thought that would happen anytime soon. Yeah. So for me, I think that there have been a lot of positives. The league is going into the wire even until the last day. Yeah. And we're all excited to see the Super Six. I want to see the marketing department of the league start producing a documentary on the success of this particular season to be able to market it properly next season. Imagine us having all these games on television. It shows you the potential that we're sitting on and that we're not leveraging. For me, it is big, and just like Ken said, 75%. I think yes, they done well. And I hope that they will wrap up the Super League in such a way that it will be devoid of any controversy, it will be devoid of any hanky-panky, and the true, no bodro point is happening in Lagos. And all the things will be gathered. But for me, I think kudos to IMC and Division Omi.
Okay, he said I is the most important. They're interim, so it's not permanent. All right, let's quickly take a look at the table. If you have it already, so Okpeyemi and of course Theophilus can chip in on this one. The teams that can actually join Bendel Insurance and of course Rivers and Lobby Stars for that Super 6 slot. And there you have Ben Insurance, of course, as he mentioned, after 17 matches unbeaten all through the season. But the irony is they have more draws than wins. They had 8 wins and 9 draws in it that they did not.
Just like they are not the normal gunners in the EPL did it. A lot of draws. But
I think this is
what it is. They are still unbeaten.
They have Enyimba, of course, trying to see if they can join Better Insurance, because the points between Remo Stars and Enyimba is so close. Remo Stars 30, you have Enyimba on 31.
Enyimba will be playing Shooting Stars in Ibadan.
Of course.
And I don't see Shooting allowing them get the 3 points today in Ibadan.
Enyimba will qualify.
Enyimba will qualify.
Okay. What will be the result in Ibadan? Okay. And I'm going to hold you on that.
Aqua United is also playing, and of course for Aqua United, let me check the teams they actually play. Aqua United will be up against Gombe United, and Gombe United nothing to lose, not relegations. They just want to stay in the league, and Gombe is actually at home. So Aqua United, they are away. Remo Stars, they are at home welcoming Kwara United. So
Kwara United, they've escaped relegation. Remo, they have everything to play for. I'll let up
because it's also Plateau United also who are Plateau United is out of the game between Remo and Aqua United.
Remo, Aqua United, Enyimba.
That's it.
So Enyimba will get the result they need in Ibadan.
You mean the 3 points?
Yeah, they'll get. See, okay.
We don't forget that there's a Super Cup to play for.
Yes,
the Shooting Stars is still eyeing.
No.
And the prize money
bearing with the continental engagement. Yeah. For this, you are looking at your continent, who represent Nigeria.
Exactly, you get the opportunity to go to the continent.
You know how much the government want to pump in, your team is going on the
and you know how much you stand to win if you are also a part of the
team cannot qualify for the Super 6. They are
out of it.
Yesterday, out of the 6 set of matches in England, only one away team failed to. Only one away team lost, which was Arsenal. So, taking that back to Nigeria. For Enyimba, they will naturally get that result in Ibadan, because the unfortunate thing there is, and it's not the fault of the organizers, the team justly for continental slot are not facing team battling relegation. They are facing team already safe. Yeah. So that takes away the climax from today's matches. But I think Enyimba will naturally get that result in Ibadan today.
Okay, let's go to Group B, the team that will be joining Rivers and Lobby Stars. It's Doma United. Anytime I look at this team, I'm like, come on, guys, this team from where are they from? It's Doma United, of course, and Sunshine Stars are the one. But then if you look at Doma United and Sunshine, when they started the season, it wasn't a good one for them, but somehow they were able to pick up. But now Doma United, who are they playing? Doma United will be up against, of course, Abia Warriors. Abia Warriors, they're safe, they're not playing for anything, but it's away from home. And of course, for Sunshine Stars, they are up against Dakada, already relegated.
And they're playing at home.
Phil?
Doma needs to win. Doma need that win, because if they get a draw and of course Sunshine picks up a win, they'll probably be on the same number of points, but Sunshine will actually have a superior goal difference to them. So in as much as Doma is like a fairy tale story coming all the way from just newly promoted team, and nobody really expected them to come this much.
Not even a traditional team.
Exactly.
Who has heard of Doma United?
Exactly. And someone saying that they're probably like the MFM, like the new MFM in the league, But it will really be interesting to see Doma actually steal that third spot and then go on to play in the Super 6.
Interesting, because
let's give it to the underdogs. Nobody really gave them a chance from the beginning.
So there's no Sunshine Stars fan in the studio? None.
No, I think it's because they don't need to depend on the result of Sunshine.
Yes.
They can actually take out in their hands, and that is
what. Arsenal.
Get as many goals as you can.
Just 3 points, they are true. One goal, they are true.
Okay, all right. And then destiny is in your own hands. That's all they need to do in this one. Of course, we know Dakada relegated, and Nasarawa and Academy Warriors all relegated from the league.
And again, Sisi, to the administrators, the reason for their big league was so our calendar would be in sync with the rest of the world. Let's not walk back our talk on that particular promise. If this presents an opportunity for us to do that, yes, they've done it. We've giving them kudos. They should let it align properly with the rest of the world the way it should be, really.
Alignment is actually important. All right. All right. Ken, before you drop the pen, leagues across Europe, as you mentioned, of course, champions already, Manchester City. Yes, Arsenal just decided to give them. You know, you guys don't have to wait to the end of the season. Let's just give it to you. And they did that fair and square. So for Manchester City, they are the champions of England right now. They're up against Chelsea today. They are waiting that they will be celebrating that, you know, today. But somehow Arsenal said, no, you don't need to wait. Let's just let this go. So City are crowned champions. But if you go to other leagues across Europe, I mean, PSG is still waiting to win. Bayern Munich still waiting to win, which usually we really don't witness like that. Just before you know it, 5-6 games to go, Bayern are already crowned champions. But this time around, Borussia Dortmund on their heels. They're ready to let them go.
Bayern has lost this. Yes, Bayern has lost this. Bayern would just be like, you know, a case of, you know, the kind of, you know, Arsenal picking up players, their fans that high expectations, because their destiny is in their hands. They are playing Augsburg and they are playing Mainz. You understand? And I think these two are winnable games. Dortmund wins those two. No matter what Bayern playing the last one, I think that sacking of Nagelsmann and bringing to Kiel is a gamble that has not paid. They were bundled out of Europe, and right now they are losing it. Maybe they have to concentrate. They have to build for next season. But this season, losing to Leipzig yesterday by 1-3 is unthinkable in a match, a must-win game. It was so they win. The Dortmund win today. If they win today, they go against Augsburg at away. They go ahead of Bayern, and then the last match against Mainz at home. I tell you this: they will do everything humanly possible, and they will be crowned champions. And that will be very unfortunate for Bayern.
That feeling, you know, I mean, kind of a summary. That picture you saw of him is a summary of what happened to them this season when you have it right there and you just let it slip away. It was just a lone goal, and of course, Nottingham Forest, a team that's trying to avoid relegation. Tottenham at Brentford. No Ivan Toney, no problem. But then Tottenham somehow, I think that's another team that somehow, I don't know what's wrong with them this season. But then Bournemouth and Manchester United. Casemiro managed to just... let's get this out of the way. They won by a lone goal. Of course, the red card guy came back and he got...
I think the highlight of the game yesterday for me was the Nottingham Forest Arsenal. And the reason is because of the goal scorer. Taiwan Awoniyi
of course.
That goal. And since he came back from his injury, he's literally been on the resurgence.
Yeah.
You know, and scoring 2 goals against Chelsea and then another goal against Arsenal, basically handing the league over to Manchester City. But for Arsenal, throwing the league away, I really don't think they did, because as far as I'm concerned, look at who was chasing them. I said it multiple times on this show. There is no way City is behind you and you can relax or you can rest on your oars. And it just shows that they still have a lot of work to do. The squad depth really exposed them. And I think that was Arsenal's undoing, because the moment Saliba picked up that injury, they coped without Gabriel Jesus, they coped without Partey for a while, but the moment Saliba got injured, it was obvious that their season was literally over. On the other hand, Manchester City, the moment Ruben Diaz got back from his injury, they've literally been unstoppable. You know, keeping clean sheets against Real Madrid at Etihad, and the same thing Bayern Munich at the Etihad as well. So they're really impressive. Kudos to Arsenal, nearly team, but then again they might have to wait probably another 6 months.
Okay. First and foremost to my friends who are Arsenal fans, Jimmy and Obun, I want to say I share your pains.
No, you don't.
I think there is nothing that defines what a title placeholder is than Arsenal.
Yeah.
You can't be there for 280-something days. It has never happened, and of course, it's happening with Arsenal.
So and the way to survive Van Persie, right? That was what brought Van Persie to Old Trafford.
So we've been so used to expecting this to neck-to-neck chase in it. But
so what you're saying, they didn't bottle it. What happened? They were never there.
I think that's what I said.
They flattered too many times.
How do you define a placeholder? That is what Arsenal was.
Wow. But that's savage.
No. Please, see, I was telling people, look, it's not those draws that actually sunk Arsenal. Rather, it was that loss against Man City. You don't lose against your direct opponent. That was just the collapse for Arsenal. Okay. That was the collapse.
Okay.
It was not those 3 draws where they were losing from 2 winning position, 2-0. But
afterwards, they lost to Brighton.
No, by then they've lost the initiative. They were now waiting on other results.
Especially that against West Ham, then you had Liverpool, then you had Chelsea, Southampton also. So I mean, so those games were not supposed to. You don't draw.
They need to increase the depth of that squad.
Exactly. I think I share what you're saying because I'm looking back to the season Chelsea won the Champions League the last time out. Yes, they might have not won the league, but Manchester City were really impressive going on to win the league. But every time Chelsea played Manchester City, they found a way to beat them every single time.
Right.
You know, so if you cannot beat your direct rivals or the people that are actually supposed to be the threat to you, what are you really doing there? Placeholders, like you call them.
All right, before you guys continue your argument, I think we have to let Ken go now because he needs to drop his pen right now. After that one, this break.
I think it's time to drop the pen and probably, I think we've been starving our fans of joining. Maybe today that the league is something that has been decided and all that. Let's hear from them. But then, I move from here. Have a blessed Sunday.
All right, see you next week. Okay, let's leave Arsenal. Just let them be. I mean, let's leave Arsenal and let them be. Let's leave the Premier League and let them be. So you guys can, call us and tell us what you think about the Arsenal season. Has it been a failure so far? You can also chip in on the Nigerian League that we just talked about. The final day, you're still having, some teams trying to get that. But that will be after this week. All right, welcome back. Okay, let's just quickly talk about you guys want to chip in on Bayern, or let's leave them, let them be.
It's okay. I don't think it was signed. No, I don't think it was signed for the title. It was signed as a long-term for a long-term project. Then it was signed to play Man City. Unfortunately, it lost. But I think as at that time, Juve and Spurs were looking for a manager, and it had not signed. Tuchel, then they will have lost him. So I think it was more of opportunity cost for them. Instead of Spurs, you will get in him. Let's get him. So I don't think it's for this season.
That's not
I think it's even good. Let's probably see another winner. It's been a while.
I don't even want Dortmund to win. I mean, another team, but Dortmund is the closest to them. So apparently, it's just for them, Dortmund or Bayern, as usual. Okay, let's quickly talk about the NBA playoffs now. I know Theophilus has been champing. I mean, he's been on this one for a long time because, I mean, he's a Lakers fan. I don't know if he's a Lakers fan or Golden State Warrior fan, but somehow he loves the Lakers so much. But the Lakers right now, 3 down. Now, at Denver, they lost 2. We felt, okay, home court advantage, and Darwinham had talked about the fact that when they're playing at home, they've had the best result. And you remember Lakers, they were seeded 7th because it was hard for them to even make it into the playoffs in the first place. When they started the season, it was 2-10. And when you have a coach who is having his first season in the NBA, so it's hard for that coach to actually gather enough experience to pull a team as big as Lakers to get this far in the Western Conference Finals. But Game 3, they lost Game 3. I think it was, they played better at Denver than they did, at Crypto.com. But right now, you are having the Lakers 3 down against Denver Nuggets. Had 2-time MVP Nikola Jokic, who is playing as if play is going out of fashion. But D'Angelo Russell, he's been having a tough game for Lakers. Yeah. We thought he had a good hand when they took out the Golden State Warriors. But somehow, he's been woeful, 1 of 8 shooting in 20 minutes. Not a good one. But then you're having Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. These guys are playing their best basketball right now.
But you just have to look at the fact that against the Golden State Warriors, the fringe players, or the so-called fringe players for the Lakers actually came to the party, talking about Hachimura, also Austin Reeves. Like, you see them shooting from everywhere and they're making a free basket to make sure that, yes, they're able to defeat the Golden State Warriors in 6. But coming up against the Nuggets, yes, they have Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. These are guys that, okay, they're not doing badly for themselves, but talking about the Lakers, talking about LeBron, talking about Anthony Davis that when fit is literally unplayable. Okay, the first 2 games at the Nuggets, like you said, home court advantage, but somehow you're coming back home to Arena where at least you try to even out the series, and all of a sudden you're not playing the way you're supposed to play. In the first half, they literally controlled the game, talking about the Nuggets. By the time the Lakers came back in the second half, it was almost lost. It's so many turnovers, rebounds left and right, and I don't know if Nikola Jokic literally is unplayable, unstoppable when he wants to. And somehow he had a horrible game early this morning, and still they went on to win. For me, I feel it's over. LeBron everybody's talking about the fact that, okay, postseason. We'll probably see a couple of changes left and right, but it's really, really sad. I hope they can actually try and stretch it to a game 7. Then we'll see a very interesting series. But with what the Nuggets are doing, I really don't see that happening right now, Cecilia.
Yeah, it's going to be hard because when you're having all the players, as you mentioned, playing well, I'm talking about Denver Nuggets now. KCP, remember he was with Lakers in 2020 during that bubble, you know, when, you know, Lakers went on to win. But then he's with the Denver Nuggets now. I mean, he scored 12 of 17 points in that second half against Lakers. They also have Bruce Brown, also another player who is also coming into the party. MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., another player who is also coming into the party. Of course, we won't talk about Jamal Murray. We're going to talk about Jamal Murray at 37 points and Djokovic 24 points. And also, when you have all these players put together, so they are unplayable.
It's just like when Man City were dominating the Carling Cup. 3 on the stretch, and West Ham just came and took them out. At that level, I think that becomes the climax for that team. For Golden State Warriors, it was like, who will bet the cat? And which team will help us knock out this team so that we can just go on this run? Unfortunately, it was the loss of the Lakers, and I think after that heroic victory, I think they reached that peak, and I think the only way for them is coming down. It's not that they're even that exceptionally good. We talk about how they struggle in the regular series, but because you need to exert so much energy to actually take out the Golden State Warriors, and they achieved that. Of course, that is not winning the title, but again, they just like John the Baptist.
They reached their peak.
Yeah,
the only way is down. So for LeBron, I mean, you guys are saying it's over for them. No team have been able to go 3 down and go on to win. It's always hard, but Theophilus is confident that they can take it to game 7.
The Lakers and the Celtics have the most titles in franchise history. 17 each. You know, but a lot of us thought maybe we'll get to see that happen again. Probably Lakers, Celtics final. Maybe the Celtics. You get the hit. Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler just continued from where he stopped. But then again, there might even still be hope because yes, they're coming now to play at home. You know, they're talking about the Celtics. For the Lakers, they just put themselves in a very, very difficult situation. But like Opera put it, thinking about it right now, I probably use all their energy to put away the Golden State Warriors, you know, and now facing off against your current opponents, I don't think it might be. It can happen, but it'll be very, very difficult.
You know what? I think I understand what you said because we're looking at Denver Nuggets during the regular season. We know that defensively they are not there. You know, when it comes to defense, they are not the team spectacular. I mean, I think they were ranked 6th when it comes to defense. So we're thinking if they're coming against Lakers, who have that defensive power, offensive power, they should be able to play them. But somehow, I really don't know what is going on. Maybe I'll go with your thoughts that they use all the strength, everything to take out the defending champs. And right now, there's nothing left in the tank. They're just trying to go through it. But I think players like D'Angelo Russell actually need to wake up. I mean, 21 points so far in the series, 3 games. Come on, guy. I mean, these are the guys that came in, you know, during that trade, and you felt, okay, they've done something good. You have the young lads coming into the team with Russell Westbrook gone, could be able to, you know, give them the push. But hey, when LeBron is not giving you 36 or 40 points and AD is not giving you 40 points, so it seems you don't have these players stepping up for them to get those points. Well, we wish Lakers all the best. Let's see if LeBron, according to him, if they can, they're still in a series. We'll see. Denver need just 1 game, just 1, and LeBron, of course, need 3. That's a tough one. All right, so let's leave the NBA now because I know you didn't want to talk about the NBA, so I'm quickly leaving it for you and touch down on tennis before we leave the show. Rafael Nadal, this is where you come in here. Rafael Nadal, I mean, when he made the announcement of, we were waiting for that press conference the whole day. He said he want to make an announcement. What kind of announcement is it? Is it just the French Open or is he retiring? What are we going to hear from Rafael Nadal? And of course, he made that announcement. And what was it? He wouldn't be at the French Open. That hip injury sustained at the Australian Open, he hasn't recovered from it.
He has said it. He can't go, you know, he can go to any tournament and just play and leave. But it would be a sacrilege for him to just go into the French Open and just play anyhow. He has to be at his best. And for the first time in 19 years, he will not be there. So I think what is driving at is this. It needs to leave. In fact, there has to be a send forth, not send off from the French Open. Because if not for the French Open, okay, if there is this announcement that there will not be French Open next year, he will leave this year. Yes, he wants to live on the high from the French Open, whether he wins it then or not. But naturally, his son has to go there and put his best, not just be a partaker, just marking attendance. He wants to be a winner if he wins it, but there has to be a send forth from the French Open.
You really can't say which is. Well, then here we're predicting maybe the French Open, but you know Olympics is after the French Open. Well, we'll see what Nadal in France. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From one Spaniard to another Spaniard, Barcelona won the league. Basically, we were given the trophy yesterday. And of course, Sergio Busquets leaving the club after about nearly 15 years. I think another person that will send off again.
Okay.
Let's have the best team qualifying for the Super 6.
Yeah, best team qualifying for the Super 6. Of course, maybe Manchester United should be able to stay in that top 4, but you really can't guarantee because someone is here who loves that club so much. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Do have a great day.